What does your child learn in mathematics? In division, the most important thing is for them to learn the different meanings attached to division. For example, 6 divided by 2. There are 3 different stories that can go with that. The first story, I have 6, whatever, 6 cookies, 6 coins, and I share between 2. So 6 divided by 2 can be represented by this story, sharing. And that's the same as to say each of us receives 3. And that is why the answer is 3. But the same equation can be represented by a very different story. So this is 6 divided by 2, the story of sharing. 6 divided by 2 can also be shown using a different story. 6 things. Can I put them into groups of 2s? How many 2s make 6? 3 2s make 6. 6 divided by 2 can also be interpreted using this story. 6 make into groups of 2s. In 6, how many 2s? There are 3 2s. As you can see, the 2 stories are quite different, even though it's represented by the same equation. In the first story, the 2 represent 2 groups. In the second story, the 2 represent the number in each group. As you can see, the same equation is represented by different stories. The most important thing your children learn in division are the different stories that go with the same equation. There are 3 stories, and these are 2 of them. A third story that goes with 6 divided by 2 is a story of comparing. I'm comparing 6 to 2. Comparing 6 to 2, we can see that 6 is a bigger number. And we can tell that 6 is 3 times 2. When I compare 6 with 2, I know that this number is 3 times that number. And that is why the answer is 3. You see the meaning of 3? In the third story, the 3 tell us how many times. In the first story, if you still remember, 6 share between 2. The 3 tell us how many things each person gets. In the second story of 6 divided by 2, I put 6 into groups of 2s. And the answer 3 tells me how many groups I get. In the final story of 6 compared to 2, the 3 tells me the number of times. That is the most important thing your children learn in division. The different meanings attached to the same equation. You may help your children by reading for them. In other words, instead of always saying 6 divided by 2, that doesn't have a meaning, you can say 6 share between 2 persons. That's the same as to say each person gets 3. Or, reading it in a different way, 6 put into groups of 2s. We end up with 3 groups. Or, compare 6 with 2. 6 is 3 times 2. You can help your child at home by constantly reading abstract mathematical sentences to them. That's the most important thing in division.